turn the thing on, it's running over here, we're running that motor, which this one's picking up off of here, off the radiant energy, which is lighting up that LEDs. You know, so we got a little bigger motor.
Lighting up these LEDs over here?
Yeah, there you go.
Look at those, bright as they can be. Capacitors.
Yep.
A little motor.
And it's off a single wire, which is running to another pickup Tesla coil, which is connected to this, which is like a double sender. Tesla had this thing where you had 3 coils. So basically you got a primary, a secondary, and then this one creates like a pressure wave. At least that's what I'm kind of figuring, which then through induction, neutral induction, is able to pick up, energize this, gives you your high frequency into this, which becomes a step-down transformer. But there's still enough power for this coil to pick up off of this from your main sender. It's able to run a single wire to be able to pick up as a collector on that side. So we've been running this thing 10-15 minutes or 5 minutes or less than that, whatever the video is. So let's shut it off. And look at, we just collected all that radiant energy from this coil, which is really coming from the main sender, picking up off of here, dumping it down to those capacitors and giving you light at your LEDs.
Extremely bright light too.
Radiant energy.
Look at that.
So we've transformed radiant electricity. Instead of it being amperage, you have high frequency, high voltage, and then it steps it back down to be able to use. So I mean, this is kind of some of my research into what Tesla was into, and being able to transform electricity. And that's why he was saying electricity at high frequency does something different, and that was the magic of what he was trying to get into, because then it becomes a radiant field for everybody. You don't have to pay for a system because you got electricity is now at a potential for somebody to build their own design and set up, power up whatever they got. But all you're doing is providing a means, a method to transform it into a higher frequency. You know, and that's where what you would really pay for. I mean, if there was some way, you know, let's say somebody set up an initial system, basically all you do is, you know, you get enough funding, they build a conceptualization of a municipality or a small town or even your own home. You build up your own system enough so that anywhere you go in your yard or whatever, you have certain multiple points that you can now be charging your little devices, even like that camera where you're able to walk around wirelessly. It's picking up electricity, because look at how long this, while we've been talking here, there's nothing running. That's just picked up off the radiant charge of what we were just running at.
It's still just as bright too.
Yeah. So if we've stored that potential of that radiant charge into those capacitors. So it's the idea that everybody says Tesla was wrong. Well, this kind of shows that he had some concepts that we haven't really explored, and this is where, you know, we were even talking about the energy system with Walter Russell and some of those things we don't really understand. I mean, that's why they're not teaching this in universities, but as an independent research, this is what's doable. I mean, are they doing this? I mean, is this part of your curriculum or your classes? I doubt that's what they're telling you in school.
They don't even mention this stuff. Are you kidding?
So, I mean, it's an unknown field. This is just the small, you know, scope of what I've gotten into through understanding resonance, you know, and resonance is the key to making the equation, because you're moving electricity at a resonant cycle. That cycle is then able to be transformed. Okay, that thing's still lit, you know. So, you know, again, those LEDs, they draw, you know, 8 watts, so they're a very efficient way of making something happen. We figure people in, you know, Africa or something, they don't have any light. So if, let's say you set up a small little system like this with a Tesla coil, and you're not throwing lightning. That's what everybody's doing with their Tesla things.
Right.
They're throwing these huge lightning bolts. Well, they're missing the point.
What is that good? What good does that do you?
You're losing your power.
Right.
What you need to do is transform it so it's a radiant field that you have. Then you collect the field, and you're able to reuse the energy at the end as a usable substance, as whether take that potential and run a motor like we were showing here. You know, so if you store that potential of that radiant field in that capacitor, depending on the size of what motor and what work you're trying to do, you have to optimize your systems to whatever, you know, design you're working with. But you could run stuff. There's a little sewing machine motor. you know, and I've attached it to a pulley that is actually running a spindle where you can actually sharpen a knife. Right now it doesn't have that much because again, this is just a demonstration purpose. So
cool.
How fun is that, man?
Beautiful.
That's cool, ain't it?
It sure is.
It's kind of a neat thing that, you know, who knows the possibilities of what we could do. It's just
endless.
If we could find some funding, man, we could do something.
Give us some dough.